An effort in Brooklyn Center to eliminate the city manager position and pass those responsibilities onto the mayor has been stalled after the city clerk rejected a petition submitted by a citizens group. Delane Cleveland caught up with a member of that group to find out what's next.
We were quite shocked.
It's been a frustrating past few days for Stephanie Nelson.
Yes, we were winded and kind of astonished that the same people who helped us were now denying us.
Nelson is part of the group Citizens for a Full-Time Mayor, which is trying to give Brooklyn Center voters the opportunity to choose whether to keep the current structure of government, where the city manager runs the city under the supervision of the council, or eliminate that position altogether, pass those responsibilities onto the mayor, and make that office a full-time position.
So it's really hard as citizens to kind of have someone running our city that doesn't live here. And so in our eyes, the investment is not as deep.
Nelson's group had collected more than 1,100 signatures with the goal of putting the proposal on the November ballot. However, the Brooklyn Center city clerk rejected the petition last week. In a letter emailed to members of the group, the clerk said the petition failed to meet state statutes and didn't have the required number of valid signatures from registered voters.
I think we were surprised. We had sought counsel from the city clerk from the beginning. What forms do we use? I mean, again, we're citizens, not experts in this, and you are to go to your city officials asking for, they're supposed to be able to lead you kind of in a direction. Here's where you would go. Here's the forms you would use. This is what needs to be filled out.
The citizens group now has until August 15th to collect a minimum of 886 valid signatures and submit a properly formatted petition.
So we have redone that form and we have started hitting the streets again, collecting signatures. Obviously going back to our supporters and just saying we apologize for the signature again, but hey, do you still support us?
If the citizens group is able to collect the right amount of signatures, that will then go to the Brooklyn Center city clerk, who has 5 days to verify all of those documents. After that, then Brooklyn Center voters will get to have their say on the November ballot. In Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Robbinsdale police continue to look for the driver of a carjacked vehicle who led them on a short chase. Robbinsdale officers noticed a vehicle without taillights driving on County Road 81 around 1 in the morning on Friday. Police discovered the vehicle had been stolen in an armed carjacking in Minneapolis. Following a short chase, the vehicle ended up crashing into a fence near the 3500 block of Zenith Avenue North. The driver and passenger then ran away. Police were able to arrest the young female passenger, but they're still looking for the male driver. Maple Grove's newest coffee shop, Kingdom Coffee, aims to bring a taste of downtown to the suburbs. As Corey Bork reports in this week's Business Matters, there's something else unique about the new addition to the local coffee shop scene.
This is a space where you won't feel alone, and that's something that's been very cool.
On Main Street in Maple Grove.
Are you going to summer camp this year?
The newest suburban coffee shop is bringing back that friendly neighborhood vibe.
Yeah, good to see you.
With names of coffee.
Our most popular drink is the Sandy. It's named after a lady in our neighborhood that our family has just come to love.
Literally named after neighbors.
Can you tell me about your blended cold press?
Making it happen hasn't been easy.
At first it was like, okay, what did I get myself into?
Turning around a former Dunn Brothers coffee and creating the new Kingdom Coffee in just a couple weeks.
The leaving here at 1 a.m. and having to be in here by 4 a.m. the next day, it was like, okay, should I sleep in my car or should I quick run home?
Isabel Lenari is the entrepreneur behind Kingdom Coffee.
So I was working 12-hour days, and then I was roasting starting at like 9:30 at night, roasting at night to be able to open the next day.
Starting this new venture at just 21 years old.
This was like my first job was at the Dunn Brothers that was here, and then here I am owning a coffee shop.
Well, it still hasn't quite sunk in. She's taken the challenge head on with a little help from family.
My sister and my mom were working here this morning. Yeah. Like I said, I'm the oldest of 6 kids, so they've helped out a lot. So this is the roaster here.
Now, with a staff of 12, she's working toward developing a suburban niche.
We're working towards more of that specialty, great coffee, like downtown, but bringing it into the suburbs.
And the reception?
That the coffee is very good. which is really cool to hear that.
I would say the energy. It's awesome to get to have conversations. Just today, somebody came and sat with me, introduced themselves, and we were able to work together, knowing the staff and the personable approach to the coffee. And the coffee is delicious.
We've been so busy, which has been amazing. It's something that I wasn't expecting for sure.
In Maple Grove, Corey Bork, CCX News.
Isabel says she took a deep interest in coffee from a trip to the Gold Coast in Australia and seeing how farmers grew their coffee beans during a missionary trip in the Solomon Islands. A Brooklyn Park summer day camp is focused on preserving the Hmong language and culture. I Strive Hmong Summer Camp began 19 years ago at Concordia University, but has since moved to North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park to serve the growing Hmong population. Students ranging in age from 4 to 18 are learning the Hmong language and discussing topics that aren't usually discussed in typical classrooms. Program facilitators say the 10-day camp is critical to preserve one's mother tongue and connect with family members.
Not being able to communicate in the language of your parents, in the language of your elders, is a missing gap in your own identity puzzle. And so language is so important in relationship building with anybody.
There are 250 students currently enrolled in the program. And as a friendly reminder, the primary is Tuesday, August 9th. And because of redistricting, your polling place might have changed. Check with the Secretary of State's polling place finder to see where you should vote. Polls open at 7 a.m. and you'll still be able to vote if you are in line by 8 p.m.
A young man from Brooklyn Center will fight at one of the most prestigious amateur boxing tournaments in the country. Jason Malillo reports.
Jared Bradford lives clean.
I have never drank or smoked a day in my life.
Trains hard and immerses himself in the sport of boxing.
It's a beautiful obsession, I think.
After 6 years as an amateur fighter, Bradford achieved a huge milestone last month.
The greatest moment of my life so far in boxing.
When he qualified for the National Golden Gloves by winning the Upper Midwest Golden Gloves title at 165 pounds.
Honestly, the thing that made Jared successful, would be him. It's his work ethic.
Bradford's love for boxing started in middle school.
My counselor, Miss Sheeman, she heard about me loving boxing.
And it just so happened Miss Sheeman knew a guy.
And she's like, well, I know this guy named Caleb Truax. And she's like, I can have him come down and have lunch with you.
And so the future super middleweight champion of the world came to Northview Junior High to have lunch with Bradford.
And I talked his ear off for about a good portion of lunch. More lunch. I went past like another class.
He had like a little notebook with all of my stats in it and like all the stats of different fighters.
And the Caleb's like, you know what, I gotta go train. And I think he was just trying to hurry up and get out of there. And so he said, my coach Ron, though, he loves history of boxing. You should come down, talk to him. And I've been here ever since.
Ron is Ron Like, a Minnesota boxing lifer and mentor for Bradford.
Ron Like has trained 6 Upper Midwest champ, me being the 7th now. You know, I really wanted to do it for him.
Bradford is surrounded by a good boxing family. In addition to Like, there's John Schmidt and Charles Meyer, both former pro fighters. Meyer calls Bradford a complete student of the game.
There's not that many guys out there who are willing to just go put in tape after tape of old fights.
Jack Dempsey, Rocky Marciano, Marvin Hagler.
To see what they did, the styles that they had, how they broke it down.
And Truax continues to be a friend and coach and sometimes sparring partner.
After we sparred probably 6 months ago, I said, man, I gotta stop toning it down on Jared. He's getting too good to go easy on.
Jared Bradford aspires to be a pro fighter and world champion. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on that road, but Bradford feels he's ready for the journey.
That's why I train so hard, is because I believe I can do something great.
Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Bradford won't be the only local fighter at the National Golden Gloves. Osseo High School grad Knowledge Johnson won the Upper Midwest 176-pound title. The National Golden Gloves Tournament is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and starts August 15th. Finals are August 20th. A local soccer standout who was part of the highly successful first season for Minnesota Aurora FC this summer has signed a pro contract. Morgan Turner, a Maple Grove native and former Wayzata High School star, is the first Aurora player to sign a professional contract. She will play for SCU Torrense in Portugal. Her season will start in late August. Turner led Aurora with 8 goals and 16 points this season. They finished as runner-up in the USLW League. 2 local teams played in the state VFW baseball tournament in Austin. One of them was in the last 3 teams standing. After losing their first game in the tournament, Totino-Grace battled back through the losers bracket, defeating Northfield 9-7 and then edging Duluth 10-9. The Eagles, however, lost to Cold Spring Saturday, falling 9-4, eliminating Grace. They placed 3rd in the tournament. Champlin Park won its first game but lost the next 2. The tournament championship was pushed back to Tuesday and moved to St. Cloud because of rain. Cold Spring and Foley will meet in the final, with Foley needing 1 win and Cold Spring needing to sweep a doubleheader.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.